Welcome to the Minding My Business podcast. I'm your host, JD August, also known as Coach JD, and I'm honored that you joined with me today. This is the very first episode of Minding My Business, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about myself. But first, let me make sure that you're in the right room. All right, this is the right Spotify channel for you. First of all, let's talk about who this is for. Minding My Business. Entrepreneurs, this is your place, man. I want you to make this your home where you can come not only get some insight, but really to get your mindset ready for success. So if you're an entrepreneur or you are embarking on a new journey to starting your own business, you definitely want to be in this room and you're definitely in the right spot. My sales associates, sales representatives, those that are in the sales field, and you're in some type of sales position, you definitely are in the right position. The entrepreneur mindset is being studied right now. I mean, there are courses on the entrepreneur mindset. It's being mapped out in colleges because they're realizing that being an entrepreneur is more than just starting off your own business. So you need, salesperson, the entrepreneur mindset. In your position, you're performance-based, and that's really what being an entrepreneur is about. It's understanding that I make the decisions that will shape my life and shape the surroundings around me. So as a sales professional, you definitely want to be here. There's going to be some things that we talk about that's going to allow you to elevate and to go to the top of your field, the top of your business, and be the best in your industry. Small business owners, mid-sized business owners, if your business is doing $1 million plus, you definitely want to be here because you have a great responsibility. You have employees, sometimes between 2 to 10 employees. You're still at the starting stage where you are competing against bigger brands, bigger names. You need some extra ammo. And we're not just talking philosophy here. We're going to talk about some practical things that's going to help you to make sure that your business is branding itself and putting itself in the position to where it can compete against some of those big name brands. You know, I watched this documentary and it showed what happens when Walmarts come into different areas, and the smaller shops, the smaller businesses died. And I mean, there was protests, and you could do that. You could protest till you're blue in the face, but really, what are you going to do about it besides protesting? What are you going to do besides signing some type of ballot to restrict Sam Walton and the Walmart, the Waltons from coming and taking over? What about your prospecting? What about your branding, your digital marketing? How are you getting onto the community? There are other things that you can do than to put up a sign to say, hey, this is not fair. Life's normally not fair. So my small, mid-sized business owners, this is where we level the playing field. And so you're definitely in the right room. And of course, if you are a sales leader, across the board, you're either a sales leader inside of a small business, you're a sales leader to yourself if you're an entrepreneur, or if you are a sales leader in a business, corporate, or in the private sector, you have the responsibility of guiding sales professionals. This is the space and the podcast for you. So I want to thank you for taking some time and for joining me here on the first episode. We're going to talk about a lot of things throughout the different episodes. We're going to talk digital marketing and how you carve out your space in the world, especially when the entire world is changing. Social media, what do we do and how do we do it? But today we're going to talk about the fundamentals. You got to do the fundamentals before you get to do what's fun. And this is one of the things that stops entrepreneurs. They look on social media and they see people traveling. As a small business owner, you may have been starting your business and didn't anticipate the type of headaches that you were running into because you saw the beautiful part. You saw the business owners that you came in contact with at networking events that looked like they were well put together. They drove the type of cars that you want. They go to the places that you want to be. And so we saw the fun, but sometimes we skip over the fundamentals. So today we're going to talk about some fundamental things. Minding my business. Minding my business. So let's get into it. A little bit about myself. Not going to go too deep into it, but I've got 20 plus years as a sales trainer and sales coach in the corporate and in the private sector, working for some large companies like Xfinity, Hilton, Grand Vacations, AT&T, just to name a few. And then most recently as a top senior business coach for Grant Cardone. I took my talents to Miami like LeBron And I got the opportunity to work with hundreds of businesses there, business owners, where I was being able to coach them one-on-one or coach their teams. There was so much that I was able to learn throughout my career that I'm going to impart and share with you for free. Free 99. Just, you got to pay attention. That's it. Can you pay attention, entrepreneur? All right. So if you're driving, you're listening to me in the car, tune it up. If you're watching me at home, go ahead and put me on the surround sound, because we're going to get to it. First thing that we're going to handle today, fundamentals. Fundamentals. I want you to write this word down. Clarity. 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 I'm deriving some of my points here from this book, The Psychology of Achievement, by consultant Deborah A. Olson. She's a psychiatrist. And I love to study sales, not only being in it for 20 years, but looking at the psychology of it, because you see as a sales professional so many things. I remember from my 5 years of door-to-door sales, that was a great psychology degree in itself. Just going to someone's house when they're not expecting you, you get to learn a lot about people, all right? This also helps me to put those two together. It helps me put my experiences with business owners, entrepreneurs, sales leaders, and of course, the marketplace in a very direct way to some concepts that I think is going to help everyone. So we're going to start with clarity. Clarity. So clarity is essential. Essential. Remember when COVID was happening, the only people that were supposed to be out were the essential workers? Essential meaning that you got to have it. You got to have it, all right? Clarity is essential to create success and achieve your goals that are important to us. You got to have it. We're going to talk about what happens when you do have clarity and what happens when you don't have clarity, all right? What happens when you do have clarity and when you don't have clarity. Maya Angelou said it this way. She said, success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. Come on, Maya Angelou, right? Liking how you do it. But how can you like how you do and what you do and who you are if you don't know for real, if you're not really clear on it? Look at just a big picture. It doesn't mean that you have to have the details. I know sometimes clarity may give you the sense that you need to have it all figured out. I need to have all the I's dotted, all the T's crossed before I get started. Please do not take that. That is not what I'm saying. You do not have to have all of the details, but you do need to have clarity on what it is that you're looking to build. What is it that your customer struggles with? Right? What problem are you solving? What does your customer struggle with? How are they feeling? Right? When they're strolling and you're looking to grab their attention, what are they feeling in the moment with this solution that you're bringing? Are they frustrated? Are they curious on other things that they can look for that's going to help them expand? I mean, it just depends on what it is that you're marketing, but having clarity on who you are and what your message is so important. So clarity. When we don't have clarity, we waste a lot of our resources. There's going to be three main resources that you're going to waste. Number one, time. Oh, don't waste time. You know, that saying, time is money. But I heard it once said this way, and I really agree with it, that's an insult to time. And the reason being is because you can lose money and gain it back. You can't get time back. You can maximize your time. You can try to catch up on time, right? But you can't get it back. You really can't get it back. So time is such a precious resource that you waste when you don't have clarity. Number two, you waste money, your actual resources, especially as a new business. As a business that is competing against bigger stores, bigger brands that have what it seems like unlimited marketing budget, the last thing that you want to do is to waste the resources that you have. This is due, again, to a lack of clarity. If you're an entrepreneur, you are a market. So there are going to be businesses, subscriptions, platforms, softwares that are going to market you, coaches that are going to market you. These are all good things. I get it. But without clarity, you can find yourself expending your precious resource, your money, okay, and your time before you even can benefit from it. Okay? No one else cares. You got to mind your business. No one cares that you've got a limited amount of money to get this business on the run. Most people, most businesses are looking at you as a market and they're looking for the sale. And you have to make the decision on what is the best resource. So taking that clarity of time to research and find out, what platform do I want to use? Is there a free way of doing it? What do I want to do? All right. So those are two. Number three, this one's huge too. You waste your people resources. Your people power. What do I mean by people power? When you're first starting off your business, okay, and even as you're growing your business, you may not be able to pay people the way that you want them to. You may not be able to pay your family members. You've got this vision and you want them to carry along with this vision with you because you know that at some point it's going to turn into something that's going to provide for them. I mean, imagine, who's the guy that created Facebook? Wasn't it Mark Zuckerberg? Sometimes I get this stuff wrong. But, imagine in that college dorm room as they're creating Facebook, right? Without clarity of how they want to scale it and how they want to design this, his college buddies could have tapped out, right? There's only so much resources of time that individuals will get you. If you're a small or mid-sized business, maybe you're underpaying your employees right now because you're looking to expand the brand. When you don't have clarity, you really waste that people resource. You have to gain clarity, okay? When you do have clarity, now you can build some momentum. So you want to be clear on your offering in your business, but first we're going to talk about being clear on you. Mind your business. The reason why I call this podcast Minding My Business is because your business is starting in your mind. So how much time are you spending in understanding your mind, understanding your resources, understanding you, and then understanding your business, the mind of your business as well. So if you're not spending time doing that, we're going to spend the time with you here and we're going to make sure that we cover this together. So one of my goals is to create millionaires, and the hurdles, the obstacles that are in your way that are stopping you are sometimes just blind spots that you haven't seen. There are little things, sometimes big things, but you gotta remove them. You gotta remove them and you need to be more aware of them. In 2011, let me read this study for you. In 2011, there was this Canadian study done that identified the 2 psychological qualities best suited to carving out your own place in the world. Sales professional who wants to be unique and wants to be the top, the entrepreneur who wants to take over the market and the industry, and that business owner, a leader that wants to catapult themselves to a new reality, right? To carve out your space, these 2 psychological qualities. Number 1, your learning orientation. How inclined are you to keep updating and expanding your knowledge? And then number 2, your passion framework, okay? Your passion framework. How rewarding do you find working in itself? Your passion framework. I see this as a real good opportunity for a lot of business owners as entrepreneurs, even myself. You turn on your laptop, you turn on your PS5, technology nowadays always needs what? An update. Even when you hear it, right? People say, it's updating. There's no positivity to it. Everyone is upset about updating. No one's going like, oh yeah, it's getting an update. Your technology. We really don't like that process. But what happens when now we are in a situation as an entrepreneur, you are starting a business and you need an update? Yeah, you got to sit down and you have to update. And I think one of the reasons, I'm assuming here, but I'm assuming it's because of the time investment. If you're going to be great at anything that you do, you cannot continue to have a negative mindset about updating yourself. You have to be excited about being able to sit down and to download and to get new information and to research and look at how you can get a competitive advantage. The marketplace right now, and you're seeing some of the top producers, some of the most productive people out there, does it look like they are down about investing into themselves? No, you hear them talking about it quite a bit. And then, of course, those that are offering that as well. Okay, they're offering updates and information and data because that is so important. So let's kind of get that off us, right? And let's make sure that we take the time investment that's necessary to be able to get to where we need to go. All right. And then the passion framework, those two could tie in pretty well together because you have to be passionate about learning. Okay, I say it this way as a coach: if you don't enjoy learning, you have no business teaching. Okay, you got to enjoy learning. So the passion framework really deals more with how rewarding do you find the work itself. I tell this story all the time that when I was in high school, one of the first jobs that I got, I was at a Dairy Queen. And I think maybe I was at that Dairy Queen for 2 or 3 weeks. And before I knew it, the owner of that Dairy Queen franchise handed me over the keys. Yeah, a high school, I wasn't even a senior, a high school sophomore, maybe a junior, handed me the keys to that shop. Now, mind you, high school got out around 2 o'clock. I get it, okay, opening a little bit late, but I was the one that was opening that shop once I got out of high school, and I pretty much was the only one in there. I remember, having a couple of people that got hired here and there, but normally it's me and maybe one other person. But I could count on one hand how many times I saw that business owner. So you have to know these things about yourself. And in the blind spots are very important to know what your blind spots are. So we're going to talk about the 5 big personality traits in just a second here, but I want you to hear this, okay? There was a study done, and when 75 advisory council members of Stanford Graduate School of Business, okay, so they asked 75 advisory council members in Stanford of their graduate business, they were asked, what was the most valuable quality for people to cultivate for business? Their answer was, almost unanimously, self-awareness. Self-awareness. That's why I said mind your business. Mind your business. If you're minding everyone else's business, you can't be self-aware. So minding your business, self-awareness. So when we talk about blind spots, the same way when you're driving and you're about to switch lanes and, oh, man, good Lord, I almost got into an accident. I didn't see that coming. There was a car coming. It was coming at a fast pace. What does that look like in the business world? As an entrepreneur, when you're about to switch lanes or go into a new vertical and add a new product and didn't realize, oh, I don't know enough about this product. I haven't read enough reviews about this product, but here I am attaching it to my brand and introducing it to my marketplace, right? So you want to be aware of not only the blind spots that you may have for your business, but your own personal blind spots. So I wanted to go through the 5 big personality traits, and I want to leave those with you, and I want you to think about these because I think these will be very helpful for this week on this first episode of Minding My Business, all right? To really set a nice foundation, a fundamental foundation of who you are, right? You have to know who you are so that people will follow you. You have to know who you are so that your efforts can be effective. Your efforts can be effective. It's easy to start a business. Anyone can incorporate a business. If you go right now, just go ahead and go to the SunBiz or whatever website it is that you would incorporate a business in your state. And you're going to see hundreds of businesses. And then now go back to Google and Google some of those names and see how many of them are still active. How many of them even have reviews? How many of them have a YouTube page or have activity going? How many of them continue to execute? And you can go and map it back, the failure of those businesses, and we know the percentages are high, the amount of businesses that fail, okay? I'm a realtor as well, and I always talk about that statistic that 75% of realtors fail in the first 2 years. Why is that? And you can map this back to lack of clarity. When they sat down and created that business name, they did the fun part. Oh, I know what I want to call my business. It's going to be called this, Minding My Business, right? Oh, here's our logo. Here's our colors. They got into all the fun stuff. But the fundamentals, understanding of who they are and how they will be as a business owner, what to expect, what's the message to their clients and to their customers. As a sales professional, you took the role because of the fun stuff. Oh, look at the corporate culture. We get free stuff here and there. Here's the commissions that I stand to make. but the fundamentals of what does my day look like? What are the activities that I have to do and how well can I do them based off of me knowing me? Right? Being an entrepreneur is not easy. Being an entrepreneur is not easy. All right? So making sure that you understand what your strengths are and what are the things that you need to work on. So there are 5 big personality traits. These were applied to over 50 cultures and were found to be the personality traits that, people, we all have. And so it's very important for you to know them. So I'm just going to go through them real quickly, write them down, and just ask yourself some questions, and we'll maybe unpack this a little bit later on another episode of Minding My Business. The first number one is extroversion or introversion. We'll start off light. You have to know yourself. Self-awareness, okay? Are you an extrovert or are you an introvert? Now, neither one of those are going to put you in the position of saying that, I'm going to be a great entrepreneur or I'm not going to be. You can be an introvert and be a great business owner. You can be an introvert and be a great sales leader and be an absolutely phenomenal rock star entrepreneur, okay? But you can't be one of those things if you don't know which one you are. You don't have clarity on yourself, okay? So extroversion or introversion. If you're an extrovert, do you feel energized by social situations? Extroverts feel energized by social situations, where an introvert may feel drained by social interactions. So if I know that, here's what I can do. Now, prospecting, getting out into the market, marketing yourself, building your brand is a fundamental in business. So you can't get around it. Okay, but what you can do is you can prepare yourself based off of you knowing yourself. If I'm an introvert and I know that I am drained by social interactions, I would, first of all, prepare for it. I would then schedule them out so I don't have multiple ones. And even if I have to, because of the nature of what I do, I would then have something that allows me to decompress, because I'm aware that I'm an introvert and that I'm going to be drained based off of this. All right. If I'm an extrovert and I am energized by these interactions, then what I can do is intentionally put as many of those interactions on my calendar effectively. Don't just go out and be a busybody. Some people just like to look busy, like to look successful. All right. I'm at every networking event. I'm talking to everyone, but where's the product? Right? Where's the productivity? What is it that you're offering? Where's the clarity in what you're doing? So don't go into just wanting to have that imposter syndrome of being busy and being in the market world. Sit down, understand, hey, if I'm an extrovert, I am energized by these interactions, so you can intentionally make sure that you are interacting with your community, with the marketplace, because it's going to energize you. It's going to feed you. It's like putting the coal in a locomotive. It's going to get that going for you. All right? All right, so extroversion or introversion. If you're an introvert, again, you will need to extrovert yourself at times, okay? But this also can mean that, hey, how do I find ways of creating a little bit more of extroversion virtually, okay? Maybe I do more Zoom, maybe I do more digital marketing because of the nature of who I am. All right, number 2, agreeableness. Write that one down. You want to write all these down. The big 5 personality traits. Number 2 is agreeableness. Are you altruistic, right? And affectionate? Altruistic meaning self-sacrificial, right? Or are you contrary? Are you cynical? Do you think that people only do things just because of some self-reward that they're going to get from it? You should know that, right? That way, when you get into networking environments and you start networking with different personalities, you know what your blind spots are. There's going to be opportunities that you would possibly shut down because you're cynical. And sometimes being cynical will allow you to see certain things. But you should know that not knowing it is the problem, is the blind spot. Agreeableness. Number 3, conscientiousness. Okay? Are you detail focused? Are you organized? Are you goal directed? All right? You should write all 3 of these and put them on a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, are you detail focused? Now, don't lie to yourself. You're in the car right now. You're listening to me. Just look around. Are you organized? All right. Open that trunk. Are you organized? Look around your desk right now. Are you organized? Are you detail focused? All right. And are you goal directed? Now, everyone should be goal directed. All right. So writing down your goals. If you don't have your goals in arm's reach right now, you are missing out on the execution of your actual business. So these are where the fundamentals come into place. Remember, the goals, it's fun. It's fun to get to those vacations. It's fun to travel. You wrote down the car that you want to drive. But when you write down the targets of how you're going to get there in your work, in your entrepreneurship, in your business, where are those goals? Are they in arm's reach? Are you engaged with them? And if those are missing, then you're just writing down fantasies. You're not writing down goals. All right. Number 4, neuroticism. All right. It's a mouthful. Neuroticism. Neurotic. All right. I'm sorry. All right. Someone who is easily upset. All right. If you have a low neurotic score, it means that you've got more resilience, and that's going to be needed. Okay, it's just, again, know yourself. These are things that you can work on. You can work on your resilience. If you don't want to work on your resilience, sometimes life will help you work on your resilience, all right? But you should know, do I get easily upset as a business owner, as a sales professional, sales leader, entrepreneur? There's going to be some tough times, all right? So you have to work on that resilience, and you need to know, where are you in that area? Are you neurotic, okay? Easily upset, and do I need to work on that? And then the last one, really awesome one, openness. All right, openness. The more open someone is, the more willing to have adventures and expose themselves to new ideas. If you stay open, you'll be able to gain more information. You'll want to learn more information, and that learning orientation, inclining yourself for more updates, will be natural for you. All right. So think about these 5. Until next time, I want you to mind your business. It's your host, J.D. August.